In my Money Questions Answered segment each week, I take a question sent to me by one of my newsletter subscribers. So if you want your question answered, make sure you press the subscribe button on the newsletter and just communicate and let me know what it is you want answered. So this week I had a great question from Nadia, and she asked, is it a good idea to have all your policies, RAs, education policies, etc., with one institution, or is it better to spread it around? I look at this probably in two ways. So first of all, I suppose, Nadia, the question you're asking is, what is the risk of having all my money with one institution? You know, in South Africa, if you're going with one of the large, well-known brands, you're pretty safe. They're very well regulated. There are certain protections in place that the money is actually not held by them. They're held in nominee accounts. They have to report to the FSCA. So, to me, there isn't too much of a risk if you're with a big brand in terms of them all running away with your money. Then when it comes to your underlying investments, they generally offer so many different portfolios that you're pretty well spread across different investment managers anyway. And you can select different portfolios and different funds to invest in. So again, for me, not a lot of risk sitting there. What is on the plus side, there is convenience. So the fact that you're only having to deal with one institution and not multiple institutions, you tap your ID number in once and you can see a whole portfolio. Those can be some really, really great advantages. But, and there is always a but, for me, the most important thing is to look at costs. Now, first of all, if you have all your investments with an investment house, some of them will actually discount your costs. They will say to you, well, because you have multiple investments with us, we will look at all of those investments combined and we will actually charge you a rate based on that. So most institutions have sliding scales. So the more you invest with them, the lower the percentage of fees that you pay. So if you have that scenario, it could be a really good idea to have as many investments as possible with them and keep all your investments together. But I still want you to go and review all of your investments and look at the costs, because some companies charge a lot more than other companies, and that's the reality. And sadly, insurance company products tend to be more expensive than perhaps going directly to an investment house. So your insurance company that would have education policies, for example, find out what you're actually paying for that every month, every year. What are those annual fees? Now, you may have, for example, a retirement annuity with an insurance-backed retirement annuity, and you discover, well, that's quite expensive, but to swap it may cost you money. They have surrender values, but you want to have a tax-free savings account. That maybe then you want to go and open it up with one of the less expensive providers. So I think for me, it really is about going out, checking what the most cost-effective institutions are. And if you find one that is cost-effective and it can meet most of your needs, well, then you can put your investments with that. But maybe then you need to, they may have investments or they may not have options for you for all of your investment options, and you may have to go elsewhere. But I think that to me is the approach. I don't think there's a major risk in terms of losing your money because it's all with one institution. I think the risk can sit that you're paying too many fees or too high fees. So you need to be shopping around and making those comparisons.